Right now, 48 nations are preparing for the 2026 World Cup. Billions of humans will stop everything to watch, and almost none of them will ask the question that actually matters. Where did this come from? Not the tournament, not the rules, the instinct, the deep, ancient, unstoppable human need to kick a ball and make a crowd scream. Because the answer does not start in England in 1863. It starts somewhere far older, far stranger, and far more violent than you have been told. The earliest known ball game on record was played in China around 300 BCE. It was called Kuju. It was not a friendly sport. Soldiers played it as military training. The object was to drive a leather ball stuffed with feathers through a small hole in a silk net strung between two bamboo poles. The players who failed were flogged. This was not recreation. This was preparation for war, disguised as play. But China was not alone. On the other side of the planet, the ancient Maya were playing a ball game that archaeologist Michael Whittington has spent decades studying. The Mesoamerican ball game is at least 3,500 years old. Rubber balls, stone courts, crowds gathering in the thousands. And at the end of certain matches, someone was executed. Historians still debate whether it was the winners or the losers. What is not debated is that the crowd watched and the crowd roared, and the outcome changed the fate of entire communities. In ancient Greece, they played episkoiros. In Rome, harpastum. In medieval Japan, kemari. Every major human civilization, independently, without contact with each other, invented a version of the same game. A ball, two sides, a goal, a crowd. Anthropologist Eduardo Archetti argued that ball games tap into something pre-linguistic in human psychology, something that existed before culture, before language, before civilization built the stadiums you watch on your screen today. Your ancestors did not invent football because they were bored. They invented it because the human brain is wired for two things that ball games deliver simultaneously: coalition and competition. For 300,000 years, survival meant belonging to a group and competing against another group. Football does not simulate that. Football activates it. When your team scores, your brain releases the same neurochemical cascade as a successful hunt. Dopamine, adrenaline, oxytocin binding you to the stranger sitting beside you who are wearing the same colors. The rules of modern football were written in London in 1863, but the game itself is far older than any rulebook. When the Football Association sat down to standardize the sport, they were not inventing something new, they were taming something ancient. They were drawing a fence around a fire that had been burning in human communities for 3 millennia. And now, that fire burns in 48 stadiums across the United States, Canada, and Mexico in 2026. 100,000 people packed into a single space, painted in their nation's colors, screaming at a ball. The technology has changed. The grass is perfect. The boots cost $1,000. But the thing happening inside those bodies, the tribal surge, the collective breath, the physical pain of a missed penalty, that is identical to what happened in a Mayan stone court 3,500 years ago. The crowd gathered then for the same reason it gathers now: to belong to something larger than themselves, to feel for 90 minutes that the outcome of a game is the most important thing in the world. Right now, 48 nations are preparing for the 2026 World Cup, and somewhere in the oldest part of your brain, something that has been waiting for 300,000 years is already awake.